Welcome to Bode's Vancouver real estate market update for January 2023. This video will show you what's happening in the Vancouver property market and then show you where you can find all of the data for your local community on bode.ca. But first, what is Bode? For those that don't know, Bode is a tech company that empowers people to buy or sell homes more successfully while also saving you a lot of money. So let's dive in. What's happening in the Vancouver market right now? First, we're going to take a look at new listings here on the left-hand side and look at how many new listings came to market each month for the last 5 years. So the bright pink line shows you 2022, and you can see in the first half of the year, the number of new listings were up versus the average of the previous 4 years. But then in the second half of the year, that dropped off substantially. And in December, the most recent month, number of new listings was down 35% versus the average of the last 4 years. So particularly in the most recent month, number of new listings has dropped pretty dramatically. What's happened on the sales side of the equation looks pretty similar too. So again, earlier, first half of the year, number of sales per month was generally up versus previous years. Second half of the year, it's considerably down versus previous years, with December being the most down of the entire year, down 42% versus the average of the previous 4 Decembers. So obviously the big driver here is interest rates going up, mortgages becoming more expensive. That's really cooled off demand. The number of buyers willing to buy right now is lower. It's made it more expensive for people to be able to buy. So that's the big driver for why that change suddenly happened there in the middle of the year and has gotten worse as the year has gone on, as interest rates continue to increase. So what does that mean for overall supply? So the number of homes for sale right now. Well, earlier in 2022, there were very low levels of inventory, so very few homes for sale. And as the year went on, actually inventory levels climbed back up higher, and each month pretty much getting closer and closer back to typical levels. And you can see here at the end of December, the amount of inventory was down just 10% versus the average of the previous 4 years. So inventory levels climbing back higher to what has been normal over the last 4 years. Meanwhile, in terms of months of supply, so this is looking at, given the number of homes for sale and how fast they're selling, how many months would it take to sell through all of the available homes? The bright pink line shows you that early in 2022, there was very few months of supply, which made it much more of a seller's market. But that shifted very quickly as interest rates started going up. And the market is back to almost 6 months of supply, which means it's into a buyer's market, far much more so now than at the start of the year. It was very firmly a seller's market. So the dynamics have shifted very quickly in the Vancouver area and much more favoring buyers now. So what does all of that mean for prices? This chart shows you what's happened to Vancouver property prices for the last 17 years. Generally, prices have been going up consistently over time. You can see from the start of the pandemic, they started increasing very quickly. But for much of 2022, prices have been going down and been going down quite quickly. So the first few months of 22, prices were going up, but then in most of the year they started going down. So in the most recent month, prices are down 1.5% month over month, so 1.5% lower at the end of December than at the end of November. And they're down 3.3% year over year, so considerably down versus this time last year. We expect that trend to continue for the next few months, but obviously we've been looking here at the overall Greater Vancouver market, and different areas within that and different property types within that can vary quite differently in terms of what's happened in terms of prices and supply and demand. So it's really important that you look at the data for your local community. And you can find all of that data for free on our website, bode.ca. So we've got 3 tools. The first one's called Market Data, and this is where you can see the same supply and demand and pricing trends that we were just looking at here for all of Vancouver, but for your specific neighborhood. Then we have a tool called Sold Data, where you can see the sold price of any home that's sold in Vancouver over the last 3 years. So if you see a sold price go up in your neighbor, a sold sign go up in your neighborhood, and you want to find out how much it sold for, simply take a look at our Sold Data page. And finally, we have a comparables page where you can enter 8 features of your home, and you can see the most similar live listings as well as the most similar recently sold listings. So that'll give you a really good feel for what your home's worth in today's market. So check all of that out at bode.ca. If you have any questions, make sure to add them to the comments below. And finally, please do subscribe if you find this information helpful and you want to see future market reports from Vancouver. Hit the subscribe button and you'll see our future market reports in your feed. Thanks very much.